T-Boys TV is finished full-time at Kenilworth Road. Luton Town nil, Rotherham United nil. Pretty poor game, to be quite honest with you. What I will say before I get into our performance ourselves, I will give credit to Rotherham in this game. Obviously, going into it, a lot of their fans are very gutted as there was no non-bay for this game. Obviously, a former Hatter. And he's obviously done very well for Rotherham this season. I believe this is his second injury of the season. So they were absolutely devastated when the team news come out and he's not featuring. And I thought for us, that's a massive benefit. Going into this game, no non-bay, giving, the former Hatter vibe. Also how he's been doing this season. So they obviously only had Hugill starting, who played for West Ham many, many moons ago. Has actually been at Rotherham for a very long time. The year we won the playoffs from the Championship, he was actually at Rotherham when Morris got 20 goals that season. That was that when that come in. So that was a massive benefit, which then made me believe even more we could win the game going into it. Obviously, I did say a 2-1 game. Did say a close game. I expected a close game, given Rotherham's form going into it. 6 games undefeated in the league, unbeaten. Obviously now 7 for them. And then obviously giving us, back at home, there's a bit of confidence around the football club. I thought we could go out and win the game. But, the game itself, the lineup to me looked like a 3-5-2 or a 5-3-2, whatever you want to call it. Obviously, Keeley in goal. Jones, obviously, on the right wing back. Bramall on the left. Anderson, Mengi and Naismith as your back three. Mengi obviously being a right centre back. Midfield of Walsh, Lamine, Richards, and then obviously Wells and Yates up front. So we actually did go with 2 up front, and then the other talking point, I guess, was Brown on the bench. He did obviously come on in the game. But yeah, in terms of the first half, pretty poor, to be honest. Like the game throughout, really. Didn't have a shot on target in the first half. How many games have we said that this season? Especially under Bloomfield, we didn't have shots on target in games, and it was very frustrating. There was obviously a pin drop at Kenilworth Road, and I can't blame the fans. At the end of the day, it's like Chris Powell said, when he first come in that week, when I believe he had this interview on Three Counties, and he basically said, the players have to get the fans up for it, and that's the thing. You can't just expect the fans to just get the place rocking, especially if how we've been at home in the last 2 years. And again, there was a pin drop because we just weren't breaking them through enough. I thought Wells in this game was poor yet again, I've got to be honest. And the thing is with him, Yates was dropping deep and he wasn't much better, even though he did have a shot, which the keeper obviously saved and it went out for a throw. But Welsh is just not getting in the positions. There's one moment he got fouled, but other than that, just not good enough yet again. And it's so frustrating because he should be able to do it at this level. If he's getting 10 goals last year in the Championship, helping Bristol City get in the playoffs, he should be doing bits this excuse me, this year, and he's just not. And it's so frustrating. But yeah, Anderson gets the yellow card as well. Poor performance from him. So yeah, pretty poor off. And I guess the main talking point is obviously their striker having to come off. He did have a chance towards the start of the game, easy routine save for Keeley. But, there wasn't any big chances, and it was quite a boring half to watch, to be honest. And you go into the second half, we take Richards off. Not too sure if that's an injury or not. Knowing our luck, it probably is. Obviously, El Hamadi's went out to his nation and obviously got injured after scoring. So it's just typical. It's just absolutely typical. So I wouldn't be surprised, unfortunately. And I thought Richards was okay again. Obviously, we've seen better games of him recently, but still all right, especially compared to other players. But then we bring on Kadoa, and you're thinking, okay, there's a bit of energy. I did say at half-time on my watch-along, big up to everyone that tuned into the watch-along, I wouldn't mind seeing Kadoa up front. He is obviously actually a striker for Wells. But that wasn't to be. Come on for Richards. Didn't mind it, but again, I think Richards might be injured because I don't think, we should have really done any earlier subs. I don't even think it was that in the first half. I just think it was one of them where we weren't doing enough. I thought the midfield was quite static in this game as well. Lamine done okay. He was doing a bit more of a defensive role today. He was going forward at times. But Walsh, his passing was absolutely poor. I don't even know why he was taking the corners towards the end of the game. Didn't like that at all. And yeah, I mean, Richards come off, but like I say, he was okay, but I've seen slightly better from him. But again, a lot of poor performances. But we bring on Kadoa. Kadoa tries. He was offside a few times. Did have a shot that weren't too bad. Good power on it, just not quite on target. And then obviously we made some more subs. Saves. Flipping hell. Their keeper didn't really have to do any. But yeah, obviously made a few more subs later on in the game. Obviously Nelson come on for Wells. So Nelson obviously at that time goes up front. Quite interesting that Nelson was actually on the bench giving Wilshere's comments. You know, he said he's one for the future. Obviously, you see the way Richards has broke through. You know, I didn't really think Nelson was going to get a go at any point. I can still maybe see him going out on loan, to be honest, or maybe even getting rid of him because he's been at the club long enough now. And like I say, you look at how Richards is breaking through. I just don't really see what Nelson's going to bring in comparison. I mean, he had a shot in this game, you know, went over the bar, pretty poor shot as well. And he's done that a few times when he has played. He's took shots, which, you know, I don't mind players taking shots from distance. I'd like to see us do it more, but when he was doing it, you know, he blazed it over the bar. And yeah, he scored a few good goals for us, but it's just not really working for him. So do let me know if you do think he could be on a way out with a loan or permanent in January or end of season. But yeah, like I say, Wells come off, poor again. Brown come on. Again, Brown was trying to make a few things happen. There was one moment he gave away a foul, which was a little bit annoying. But he did try and get on the end of a header, you know, and things like that. But yeah, it just didn't really quite work out. Obviously, Lamine come off. Like I said, I thought Lamine was alright. I was surprised Walsh had a full 90 minutes, to be quite honest with you. I thought he was poor in this game, like I say. And then Ali come on. Ali was... He was okay. He was running at players, you know, what we see him do a lot towards the end of last season and in pre-season. But yeah, a few extra touches. And that was the thing today as well. I felt when we did get the ball at times, we were very sloppy in keeping it in terms of holding up the ball. You know, and it was very frustrating. And, you know, it's just trying to break through. It's poor. You know, like I say, I'm going to give credit to Rotherham. I'm not going to criticise them for the way they played or anything like that, because at the end of the day, like I said, they had a striker out in Nombe. Then obviously their other striker got injured. You know, they've actually only got one striker, I believe, in a whole squad based on them two being out. Obviously, the other striker that played, Sheriff, or whatever his name was. You know, and you've got to look at it, and I know they are struggling with centre-backs as well. So, you know, they're going to play like that away from home. As soon as that striker goes off, they're going to play like that. So I can't discredit them or anything. And they got in our faces. We didn't like it. Yes, the ref wasn't great today, but, you know, we can't use that as an excuse for not having shots on target. You know, it's as simple as that. So really, really poor game, to be quite honest with you. And, you know, you'd think we'd lose the game by how a lot of us are reacting. But at the end of the day, we just didn't perform to a level we know we could. You know, we're all buzzing to see the momentum carry on and play during this international break. And then we perform like that. It's just not great. And, you know, the defenders didn't really have to do much, again, because of how Rotherham set out and played the game. But even when they did, I thought Anderson was pretty poor. Naismith wasn't the best again. Was going forward at times trying to, you know, spur us on to get a goal. But in terms of defensively, I don't think it's great. There was a moment he played it across, thinking about it, towards, I think it was Mengi. Why? They tell you as a kid, mate. And I played for some rubbish teams when I was younger. But they said never play the ball across the box. You know, and he's doing that in our defensive box. I don't know what he was doing, up in the air as well. It wasn't great, man. He needs to step up. And Mengi was okay, done a few good tackles, but again, I've seen better performances. Can't fault Keeley for anything in this game. You know, there wasn't really much at him, but still, it's just frustrating, man. Coming out of that, watching that game, it's just frustrating. And yeah, the poor home form continues compared to the away, you know, form. Obviously, I am glad we are playing away next week against Barnsley. I mean, they're not on the best of form. So maybe we can go there and get something, given that we are better away. But yeah, it was very, very disappointing today. And yeah, like I say, I'm going to give credit to Rotherham for the way they played. But from us, poor. Absolutely poor. So yeah, I thought, you know, Jones was one of the better players again today, trying to make things happen. Very good defensive work from him in the first half, up until their striker come off. Then he didn't have to do as much defensive work. And he was trying to make things happen. He won the ball in good positions, running at players, things like that. But, yeah, the rest of them not so great. Like I said, I thought Yates was okay, but still not great. Lamine was all right. And Mengi, that's probably it. I thought the others weren't great out of that starting 11, to be quite honest. And Kadoa was obviously good when he come on. Even though he got caught offside, he was eager to try and make something happen. But, yeah, frustrating. Reporting on a 0-0 game. Like, 0-0 games, you always look at them and there's not much to really say. Like, it wasn't a good 0-0 game. It was pretty poor. But, like I say, I'm going to give the credit to Rotherham. But, yeah, do let me know your thoughts on the game. Do smash a like if you haven't already. Big up to everyone that watched the watch along. Do subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Subscribe to the extra channel, that is in the description. And if you want to follow me across any of my socials, if you're not already, please do that. Yeah, Luton fan, Rotherham fan, or neutral fan if you watched it. Sure, loads of Arsenal fans might have watched this game, given the international break, given the Jack Wilshere thing. Pretty poor watch as a neutral as well. So, yeah, smash a like, all that, like I say. Take care. Peace.